guys, welcome back to Mom Talk. We're so excited to have you here again. As a reminder, before we get started into this talk that we're going to do today, that we have Dr. Chloe here today instead of Dr. Cassidy. As a reminder, again, we are going to be switching dependent on when we film these and record them, depending on where they are in the office, because Dr. Cassidy is in our Allen location today. So that is why we have Dr. Chloe here today again. So it will be kind of rotating between them two.
Glad to be back.
Yeah. But on for this talk for today, we're going to talk all things back to school. With school right around the corner, we have a lot to talk about with these kids going back and the importance of kind of chiropractic with school and everything kind of that goes into it. So that's what we're going to talk about today. This chair is going to keep squeaking. Sorry.
Cool. I think the main thing, or I guess you can take it like a lot of different avenues of how summer is different than school. One of them being prolonged sitting. And so you can kind of like look at it from the attention span focus or the more like muscular and like positional and postural aspect of prolonged sitting and how that affects our body. So I think we're definitely going to dive into that. I think with more of the postural aspect, you know, we go into summer and we're a lot more active, we're playing in the yard more, we're swimming a lot, and then now you just have that like sharp switch to school where it's a lot of sitting. And so obviously biased, but chiropractic can help a lot with our posture. Definitely a reason that I loved going to a chiropractor growing up and in high school was to help with the postural balance. So of course, you know, gravity's going to work against us. It's going to pull us into this like forward head posture. We're writing or on the iPad at school, whatever it may be. So you have the forward head posture, but also that like mid-back rounding of the shoulders. So I always think that getting back into the routine of chiropractic care helps a lot. You know, summer can be crazy, vacations, and you think it's almost like you have more time, but then like it's just a weird, chaotic time at the same time. So getting back into consistent chiropractic care for school, so important.
100%. And I think the biggest thing with posture too, we have these heavy backpacks on when we go back to school, so it just keeps us in this kind of forward head carriage and our shoulders roll forward for pretty much the entire day. And then you get home and you do homeworks and you're always looking down again. So it's kind of like that cycle of never stopping, which again is why chiropractic is important, especially when school starts, to kind of pick it back up again if you kind of fell off during the summer with schedules and things like that. Super important so that our bodies can get back into the habit of kind of that muscle memory, working on our posture, making sure we're opening up everything, especially with our posture. Our pecs, our muscles up here get super, super tight, and it kind of keeps us here. So stretching these out also is going to help our posture as well, which is a big thing that I feel like I hit on a lot for kids too, especially going back to school, because it's just everything's held there and then it gets uncomfortable and it's not fun for anyone.
And we have postural exercises that we talk a lot about in the office. We use the word upper and lower cross syndrome, but that's just a fancy word for how our muscles can get unbalanced based on posture. So talk to us about that next time you're in. We have some really good stretches and exercises to give for that too.
Yeah. So when Dr. Maddie was talking about backpack, we need to make sure that we're wearing our backpacks appropriately. We want both straps over our shoulders and pulled tight and up high on that back. We don't want it sagging down low, hitting our butt, pulling our shoulders back, because even though we're stuck in this forward rolled shoulders, that heavy weight pulling us back like this is not good either. In order to open that up, you want lightweight, you want light stretches. And not just for that portion, but also the anterior neck muscles. Those anterior neck muscles are also going to shorten. And so if we're pulling like this, you're going to cause a lot of issues, especially if that neck is not nice and elongated and those muscles are super tight. So there's a lot that goes into this, but backpack up high on both shoulders, not like hanging one off or dragging behind you. We also need to be very aware of the weight of these backpacks. So especially if you have children who are carrying around a laptop or a tablet, and then also books and notebooks and pencils and whatever else, we need to be aware that these backpacks are not the same weight as our child, or even half the weight, or even a quarter of the weight. These backpacks need to be lightweight and carried for short periods of time, not all day long.
Yeah, for sure. I think another big thing about back to school is we start getting more involved in our desired sports too. So you start your sports practices, usually with your like school team, or even if it's outside of school, but I do feel like sports picks up a lot. Obviously as we get into like the fall seasons, and I think chiropractic can help with that as well. Being able to have that optimal sports performance and to have just someone on your team to look at your spine, I think is so huge, especially as we're in that like growing and developing stage. So many things are changing. A lot of sports are that like one-sided, so think like baseball, or gymnasts usually prefer a side, and so just to have somebody on your team and somebody to look at your kids' spinal health and spinal alignment as they start getting into the sports and getting back to school, I think is also a huge thing to note in the back of your head, and just know why consistent chiropractic care is very, very important.
I also think with the sports, kids are going to be go, 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 right? It's school, then it's sports, then it's go home, do homework, whatever it is. And then it can continue on into the weekend depending on if there's tournaments, competitions, SAT prep, things like that that are going to continue going on depending on what grade they're in. So your body it can get very overwhelmed, very stressed, very anxious. So that's where also chiropractic comes in, because we can help kind of decrease that anxiety, stress around everything, working on your parasympathetic system again, which is our rest, digest, super important, and then our fight or flight, which is the sympathetic, so that way our body can actually balance, we can relax and get through the school year the best that we can, kind of balancing between those two, which is super important, especially if you are going to take these big tests like SAT, ACT, going into college, things like that. New things are coming your way depending on grade where you're in. For sure.
Yeah. When our bodies are stuck in this fight or flight, then we move into the immune category, right? And especially with the start of school, we know everyone's going to be sick and sniffly. And so let's talk about how we can kind of support our bodies in the most prolific way to minimize severity, duration of these illnesses. So first and foremost, yes, chiropractic care, we're always going to hit on that. We're chiropractors, right? But secondly, getting quality sleep. Quality sleep is so important. Last month we did a thing with a mom talk with Haley Cochran about mouth breathing and mouth posture. That's something to look into, because if we're mouth breathing, we're not getting enough air while we're sleeping, and so then we're not getting good quality sleep. Then when we don't get good quality sleep, we kind of trend towards the downward immune spiral, and so that's going to be a big portion of this. Supporting our immune system through supplementation is also going to be a big thing. Food that we eat, this is going to be important. As we move into this busy new school year season, it's so easy to fall into like, let's pick something up on the way home, or a freezer pizza. Not that that's a bad thing, but we do need to have fruits and vegetables. Good quality organic foods are also going to help our immune system thrive, right? And making sure that we stay hydrated throughout the day. I know that all of you guys carry your Stanleys. We all know that.
Yeah.
Let's actually like drink out of them and fill them up and drink out of them again, right? So staying hydrated is going to be a big portion of that too.
Especially if you're in sports, it's going to be hot. You need to rehydrate for your recovery also, which is super important.
Yeah.
I think it's just a very, very important and big change that happens every single year. Summer is so much fun, but it does get us out of routine a lot, and it's just really good to have that like new, fresh start in August for back to school, and being able to, talk about immune health and food and diet and posture and all these things that do go hand in hand to make that transition just a little bit more seamless.
Right,
So
and how
that's why we wanted to talk
support
about
you.
it.
Yeah, how we can support you in all of those decisions, right? Like, none of us are perfect here, right? We all kind of fall off the train, even though we know all of these things. So
Life happens.
this is a really good reminder, even for us, that like we need to get back on schedule as well.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's always good to talk about, just for that, like
It's like the accountability and things like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's why we like to have these talks too.
Yeah.
So we can, you know, talk about this, and then, you know, one time we talked about digestion. It's a good little check-in for ourselves, and then why we want to do it with y'all too.
Awesome. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. We'll try and get back to you guys as quickly as possible. And then next month, I think we're going to talk about everything like back to school sports. So if you have questions about that, please let us know.
Cool.
Cool. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.